Welcome back to another Yorkshire Pop Top Adventures video. If you like this content, please consider subscribing as it really helps the channel. With festival season not too far away and with lots of campsites being fully booked already, I thought it would be a great time to talk about off-grid power options so we can all enjoy our vans whether we are plugged in or not. It gives a sense of freedom when you can just pull up and camp out without worrying about running out of power. It also saves you money when using campsites because you're not spending extra on electric hookup, and as a Yorkshireman that makes me smile. Whether it be a one-night off-grid solo camp, a 3-night off-grid festival, or a full off-grid camp with the family, we now have enough power and recharging options to keep us all going, including keeping my beers cold, which is super important. If this video helps just one of my subscribers, then I'll be a happy chappy. Enjoy. Now then, I've come down to Swinsty Reservoir near me because it's properly nice. We come down here with the dog, there's some lovely walks, lake and everything, it's gorgeous, absolutely stunning. And what a beautiful day. Oh, summer is almost upon us. Well, it'll probably snow again before summer arrives. So, off-grid power. It's not for everybody. A lot of you guys might just like going to campsites in your van, plugging in, electric hookup and using your van that way. That's absolutely fine. Some of you guys might also like to go to campsites and not have to pay for the electric hookup to save you some coin, which is always nice as a Yorkshireman, and that's also fine. But then some of you might be like idiots like me who like to camp in car parks or middle of nowhere, and then you need the power in your van to, charge up your phone, like myself, my cameras and my drone stuff, and then if you've got family with you, it's their phones, their iPads, all sorts of things that you might want to use, like travel kettles and hair dryers, whatever it is that you want to use while you're camping. Then this video should answer all those questions for you. I have bought a new thing, by the way, so don't tell the missus. Right, let's get in the van and let's talk about off-grid power. Yeah, right, come on. Come on then, come on. Right. Oh, door's self-closing because we're on a hill. First things first, I'm going to get the kettle on, make myself a cuppa, make myself a trusty pot noodle. It's not even a pot noodle, it's a snack noodle. It's like, I have to have snack noodles now. I've spent so much money on van. I've got a list. It's so I don't forget about stuff while I'm talking, because I can waffle on and go on to stuff that don't really have anything to do with off-grid camping. So yeah, if I do forget something or I don't cover something in that list that you've got a question on, then please put it down in the comment section below and I'll try and answer it as soon as I can. Also, this isn't a video about how you should do it. This is just a video how we do it, and it works perfectly for us and it could work perfectly for you guys as well. There are masses of ways of powering your van and having other things like lithium batteries and more batteries and hundreds of solar panels and Victrons and all that, but this is how we do it, and this could be how you do it in the future, or take parts of the things that we do and then build on that to create your own way of making power in the van. So we're going to start at the very beginning. Right at the very beginning, we had a 90 amp hour battery, and it was great to a certain point because we mainly just went to campsites. This is before the channel even started. Mainly just went to campsites and was on electric hookup, and that was absolutely fine. It served a purpose. The battery was just there to power the 12 volt system. At a push, we could maybe get one night off grid, but that was at a push really with a 90 amp hour battery, especially with the fridge on, charging phones, lights and things like that. So yeah, I decided to upgrade the battery to a 120 amp hour leisure battery, and that made a massive difference because I've got like battery anxiety. I'm always checking the voltage meter and stuff, and when everything's running I'm just like turn that off. So yeah, we've got 120 amp hour battery, which is all linked to the CTEK split charger. I'll put a picture up of the CTEK split charger now so you can have a look at the one that we've got. I got that from Rain Automotive, not sponsored. And that basically charges the battery while the engine's running. Happy days. Everyone's a winner, baby. That's the truth. So with that in mind, we thought, right, okay, we have got power in the van. Everyone's happy. But then we realised that actually there's no way of charging that battery up unless we're on electric hookup and or unless we have the engine running, which, yeah, is all right if you're on your way to a campsite that's got electric hookup, absolutely fine. But if you're on your way to a campsite that hasn't got electric hookup, you've got a finite amount of time before your battery runs out. So with that in mind, I decided to install a solar panel. There is a video on my channel of me installing the solar panel. I wasn't happy about drilling holes into my pop-top, but it was needs must. So if you want a bit of entertainment, I'll put a link in the description below to the video of me installing my solar panel. So we got a solar panel, which then, and it's a 100-watt solar panel, just a cheap flat panel one from Amazon, cost about £100. And I sent the solar panel wires down to the CTEK split charger, and that then meant that because it's got a built-in MPPT controller, which has got something to do with solar, don't come here for technicals. So what was happening then is when the sun was out and it was shining, it was blasting down on the solar panel, it was charging up my leisure battery. When the pop top's up and it's directly towards where the sun's shining, I was getting full 100 watts out of it. Not all the time, don't get me wrong, you know, when it hit 100 watts, I'm like, oh, something, yeah. We were getting free power from the sun, which meant that we could spend longer time out camping without having electric hookup. Happy days. Here's a tip as well. If that sounds like your setup, solar panel, leisure battery, split charger and all that, then what we used to do was turn the fridge down to low during the night when we didn't have solar, and then during the day when solar was blasting on it, we'd turn it up full. We'd also charge all our phones and things like that during the day rather than at night time, because then, you know, it's free power basically. So, moving on from that, I decided to get myself a little generator. Some of you guys familiar with the channel will know that I use this quite a lot. And that basically split from the solar panel. So I had a splitter. I'll put a picture of the splitter up on screen now. That split down to the Bowden's generator to charge that up, and also the leisure battery. So it meant that the sun was charging up both things. And I think to yourself, why have you got this? Why is this charging up with solar? So basically then this would hold the charge just like the leisure battery, and I'd be able to plug my battery charger into this because it's got a 3-pin socket. I'd be able to plug my battery charger into this, and then it would top up the leisure battery during the night if the voltage were to drop low. Say for instance we left the fridge on full blast and stuff like that, but it just didn't have enough power. I wanted more power. So with that in mind, we went out and bought a River Pro. It's by a company called EcoFlex. I've seen loads and loads of YouTube reviews on it and stuff like that, so I thought, let's go out and get a bigger battery bank. We'll get to that in a minute, don't worry, I'm going to talk about it. Now, you're thinking to yourself, but you've got solar, you've got your battery, you've got your engine running, why would you need more power in the van? Now, I'll tell you why we needed more power, because 2 times now we've been off grid and we have been parked in a beautiful campsite, but covered by trees, and there's been no solar. One campsite we went to, the pop top was up, the sun was over here, so it meant that it wasn't getting any solar at all. So that's why we thought, we need some extra power in the van just to cover those instances, so then we can charge up the leisure battery. So I went out and bought with my own pennies and monies and stuff the EcoFlow Pro. Now this has got so much power in it, it's untrue. I could probably run a mini rock concert from it. Now my leisure battery is 120 amp hour, but you're not supposed to take them down under 50% charge because it damages the battery. So technically it's 60 amp hour to use it fully. This is 720 watts. Now I'm not going to do maths, not in front of you on camera, but I can take this down to 0 and I can use it to charge up my leisure battery, and I can use it to run things like I don't know, hairdryer, because obviously that's essential when you're camping, isn't it? Hairdryer, you need to run a hairdryer. I can run power tools with it. I did in my last video. I could even run the vacuum on it and vacuum in the van. Not that we're going to bring the vacuum with us, but it just shows how good this little unit is for powering stuff. It's not as heavy as it's not as heavy as the leisure battery. So I don't know how that's possible. But what it does do, it has 2 plug sockets on the side there, and you can use items up to 600 watts on it, but then it's got like this cool boost thing in it that means you can use things up to 1800 watts. Not everything. I've got my coffee machine at home. Hello. I've got a coffee machine at home that is it's about 1200 watts. The one that's always in the videos. And it won't run that. Now it'll turn on, it'll warm up the water, and it'll start making coffee for about maybe 30 seconds, and then it'll stop. So it's not really, I don't know, there's technicals that are going on in there that I don't fully understand. And it means it won't run that coffee machine. But fear not, at the end of this video, I have bought a new coffee machine specifically for the van, and if it works and it runs, then I'll let you know where I bought it from, and you know I'll let you know whether it'll definitely run with this or not, because having coffee in the van's great. I love the AeroPress, that's brilliant, you know, nice and spicy eye, but to wake up in the morning, knock the coffee machine on, press go, just be like, ah. So this will cover all my battery anxieties. So I can charge it up with the plug at home, or I can also charge it up with solar, because I was saying the splitter comes off and I can charge that with solar. The wire's just there, you can see it, it's nice. And I just leave that plugged in so it's fully charged when I do come to use it. I found out the other day as well, it wasn't a subscriber that mentioned on my Facebook page after I posted a picture of this. And I've just found a little port here on the side. So what you can do from the same company is you can buy another battery. So it's not like the same unit. It's like it looks the same, but without all the screen and whatnot. And then it's like an extra battery for power. So you're doubling up your power to whatever size battery it is you want to get. So yeah, this is expandable, which is. I looked at the Jackery, I looked at the Power Oak, and I looked at getting lithium batteries. Now, lithium batteries with an inverter would have cost me best part of 1200 quid for the ones that I wanted. And I was like this close to going for it, and they were like, oh, inverter, and then the lithium, and then all's good, and I'm like, oh, but no, I couldn't stretch myself to spending that much money on it. So this at $699, you can get, I think they've got cheaper units, and they've also got more expensive units which run even more powerful stuff, so you would be able to run my coffee machine at home. But I've got an electric travel kettle which is 1000 watts, and that runs it. It shows on the screen that it's only using like just shy of 600 watts, but I'm guessing there's some sort of dooberies that go on in there, which means it's using the same amperage, but I don't know, it works. That's all that matters. It works for me. And it boils on the electric kettle, it boils in 4 minutes. On the gas thing, it boils in 4 minutes. So the normal gas one, it takes 4 minutes to come to boil. With the same amount of water, it takes 4 minutes in the electric one. Apart from this has been charged by Mother Nature, so it's like free as opposed to using gas. So that kind of hits my Yorkshireman wallet quite well. Knowing that I'm not having to use gas every time I want to make a cuppa, I can just bang on the electric kettle and this will run it absolutely fine. Right, so as you know, I work in my van a lot as a wedding photographer, as a landscape photographer. I like to take photographs while I'm out and about, but I am no landscape photographer. And drones and phones and things like that when I'm off grid. I like to get all these charged up. Now I can charge up my drone, I can charge up my laptop, I can charge up my phones, and I can charge up all the camera batteries that I use for filming, as well as for taking photographs, and the batteries that are in there and all that. I can get it all charging at the same time, and it means that when I'm off grid, usually I'll do like a one-nighter off grid, but 2 nights, then I'm starting to use all my batteries. So if I can get them all on charge, certainly if the solar's not great, like in winter and things like that, it means that this will come in handy for doing all that. Certainly when I'm working at a wedding and I want to plug my laptop in. So a little bit of a closer look. It's got 3 USB-A's on the front there. One is a fast charge, so it means it'll charge my phone like within the hour, and then the other 2 I can plug in my drone, batteries for cameras, things like that. It's also got a USB-C input there, so if your laptop charges USB-C, you can use that. It's also got like a cigarette lighter point. It's not a cigarette lighter, but it's just because I'm from the 90s. And you can plug in, I don't know, like if you've got those fridges, little portable fridges that plug in, you can plug it into that and then leave it out in your awning. It's got a light on it. I'll probably never use that, but it's got a light on it. I might come in handy. You never know. It's always good to have something like that. On this side, it's got a little door And then in here, you've got the charging point to charge it up at home, or, you know, if you're on electric hookup or whatever, you can charge it up. And it goes from 0 to 80% in about an hour. It's just under an hour, which I think is brilliant. And then I think to charge it from 0 to full, it's only an hour and a half, which for me, that's just blown my mind completely. Reset button there, and then that's just a screw, and then that's where you plug your solar panel connection in to charge it up via solar. And or I can also put this on my seat shelf. I built a seat shelf in the front, and this will sit on that, and it means I can charge it with the cigarette point as well while we're driving. So moving on to this side, you've got the fan that comes on when it's under load. So like when the kettle's plugged in, the fan will come on, but the kettle's louder than the fan, so you know what I mean. It will the fan will come on when it's been charged up, just to keep it cool and stuff like that. But again, it's not an offensive noise. It's probably just about as loud as your fridge when it's on and when the compressor starts in the fridges in the vans anyway. And then the main reason that I got this was so that I could plug my battery charger into it to top up my leisure battery while we're off grid, and then this will charge up via solar, because obviously my solar panel comes down and plugs into it, so free power. And also be able to use my electric kettle and make cups of tea without having to use gas. You know, to make the gas last longer, then I might as well use power from Mother Nature's to make my cup of coffees on the go and stuff. Now on the front here, it does have a panel which I quite like, and it's quite a good display. So it tells you how many hours you've got left at the current draw. So at the moment there's nothing coming off it, so it's saying 99 hours left at 31%. But if I say, for instance, plug a kettle into it, it'll go down to, say if it's 100% charge, and I plug a kettle into it, it'll say it will be able to run this kettle for about 45 minutes. Now, it only takes 4 minutes to boil a kettle, so you do the maths. And then also, it'll just tell you, how long it's going to last based on what you have plugged into it. Also, the thing I love about this is I built a shelf, obviously, if you have a look here. So there we go, can you see? Of course you can. So here's my shelf. Again, there's a video of me building this. I think it's last week's video or the week before's video of me building this, if you want to go check that out. And I made it specifically to fit the generator. So that just slots in there nicely. And then I can plug the solar panel connector in. So if I just lift that up like that, solar panel connector in, done and dusted. And then I just forget about it. And that's the beauty about having something like this on solar panel, because I'm just like, well, now it's charging. I mean, there's 50 watts going into the solar, which is ace. There is an app as well, so you can keep an eye on the power consumption, certainly if it's in a cupboard out of the way and things like that. So yeah, the app actually comes in useful. There was an older version of the app which ran a bit slow, but this app is brilliant now. It's nice and simple. You can just download it from Google Store. So I also bought EcoFlow's solar panel. They do various wattages and stuff like that. I think it's 110 watts, the one that I've got, and they go up to about 160. Because what I wanted to do was use that solar panel to charge this up if we're in the unfortunate situation where the solar panel on the roof is facing the other way, or we're under trees. What it does mean is that I can angle it towards the sun better. It's like zipped up in a bag and it folds away and it's really nice. And then I can angle that towards the sun and get all of the sunlight into the battery as much as I possibly can, just by moving it around to face it towards the sun. And I can use that solar panel on other stuff should I want to, because it's just the MC12 connectors, just normal connectors, and then it comes with a connector that fits into the charging station as well, so you can do that. So I can charge up my Bowdens, and I can charge up this, and I can charge up other things that have got MC hammer connectors or whatever. The solar panel was 289 quid. So yeah, I don't think too bad. When you compare it to other solar panels of the same quality, they're all around the sort of same price. A friend of mine's got, I think it's a Renogy one, that cost about 310 quid. So very sort of evenly priced out when it comes to price. I've got all the power I would ever need, and it means that I can go off grid now for many days, if not weeks, to and not worry and have battery anxiety. It wouldn't be right to talk about off-grid camping without touching on the heating system. I installed a diesel heater which has been working absolutely flawlessly. Just a Chinese diesel heater, 2 kilowatts is enough for a tiny van like this, warms the van up in minutes, and yeah, everyone's a winning baby, that's the truth. But it uses a lot of power when you first turn it on. So we plug the battery charger into there, which means that then it's taking power from that. So it means that we've got all the power from this going into the leisure battery while we are starting up the diesel heater. Once it's running, it uses hardly any watts. It's just basically using the fan because the engine is running, if that makes sense. So yeah, just on startup, we wanted that extra power because while we've got the fridge running and we've got the lights on, and then we want to start the diesel heater up, and then you've got Olivia with her iPads and phones and our phones and everything like that, it zaps the leisure battery eventually. So it meant that we could only have so much time off grid, and we wanted more time. I'd like to be able to go out and spend weeks off grid, which now in this current state of the van, we can now stay for 2 weeks somewhere completely off grid, which is properly ace. So my final thoughts on this are, and I've written it down, so I hope by me showing you how I power everything in my van, this is like story time on CBeebies, that it helps you figure out the power in your vans. Whether you need extra power or not, it's always good to have a backup. So yeah, happy days, happy days. I'm trying to, yeah, that is it. I think we're done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to jump to me trying the new coffee machine out that I've bought to see if it works on the new EcoFlow Pro that I've bought. Oh, nice. All right, I can't wait. This is mint. I think I've covered everything, but if I haven't, I'll list them out in the details in the description and or ask questions down below as well. Yes, awesome. Right, okay, enjoy. See you, bye. Right then, so my new coffee machine has arrived. It's by Salter and it costs 39 quid. I'll put a link in the description below. Hashtag not sponsored. And it's teeny tiny next to my home coffee machine, which is already quite a small coffee machine. So perfect for the van size wise. I have made a cup of coffee with it on the mains and it works absolutely fine. I run water through it first and I made a coffee with it and it tastes absolutely fine. I like my coffee quite strong, so I put a lot more coffee in this bit, and I use Lavazza coffee, which is a really finely ground coffee for this machine. The coarser ground coffee stuff that I use in the AeroPress and the filter coffee, that's a different kind of taste, but it's not a coffee video, is it? But yeah, this machine, it's not the same as this machine when it runs. This one, you know, you've got a high pressure and it's like but this one is just steam pressure, and it builds up the pressure in this chamber at the back, and then the pressure is released through this bit, which then filters through the coffee. So I don't know, it's 5 bar of pressure, whereas in this I think it's about 9 bar. So there's a difference for the people that are interested in the kind of the bar pressure of coffee machines. In my mind, I'm thinking it's small, it's lightweight. I mean, it's full of water, and it will fit in the van and store in the van perfectly. So with that in mind, let's get this plugged into the EcoFlow power generator and see if it runs it. I really hope it does. I really, really hope it does. Come on, you can do this. It's switched on. Don't know if you can hear the fan in this. That's about as loud as that fan gets. All I need it now to do is boil the water, get to pressure, and then start making coffee. So it's making coffee as I talk, whilst plugged into this. Look at the steam! And it's taken probably around 3 minutes 20 seconds to boil up and make a full cup of coffee now. There we go. Turn that off and let that just drip. I mean, this is a huge cup of coffee. I probably won't make one this massive, but to get me all that coffee there, nice. Yeah, 3 minutes 21. So actually quicker than boiling the kettle and making a coffee with the AeroPress. So happy days. Yeah, the percentage dropped 3% on the battery. So loads and loads of battery power in there to be powering this. It's properly steaming. Don't know if you can see the steam coming off that. Taste test. It's without milk. It's super hot, and that's a coffee. Nice. Right, so that's the end of off-grid camping. That's all I can talk about, really. There's nothing else that I've got in my van that will aid with off-grid camping, apart from food, obviously, in the fridge. But as you saw the fridge, you know what my van's like. If you don't know what my van's like, then like and subscribe and you get to see it all in its full glory on trips and videos and stuff. So yeah, the coffee machine works perfectly. The battery bank is going to be there for me to be using in future videos. If there's anything that I test on it or I use on it in future videos, then I'll show you guys as well. I mean, we might get one of those electric plug-in paddleboard inflator things, so you know, it might come in handy for that. No idea yet until we buy it. And also, I spoke to the guys at EcoFlow. I sent them an email the other day saying, oh, we're doing this video, and they kindly sent me a promo code for you guys. So I think it's 5% discount if you put in Yorkshire Pop Top Adventures, but I'll put a thing down below so then you can type it properly and things like that. But yeah, I thought that was really kind of them. Right, it's the end. What are you still here for? Go on, off you go, off you pop. Go away, it's late. You're probably watching this at stupid o'clock thinking, I'll have one more beer, I'll watch one more YouTube video. No, go on, go to bed. You'll thank me for it in the morning. I know you will, I know you will. Right, still here for? Go on, I'm off, so I'm going. I've gone. What are you still there for?